The story of Dreamybull.
So as Heraclitus once said, the
Oh my
only
God.
constant in life is change. Which, depending on your outlook on life, is true. The world is constantly changing and developing at an alarming rate, and the same thing can most definitely be said for the internet, especially in the current day, whereas previously things were...
Once again, Dreamybull was turned off. OBS always turns him off. But I don't know why. I never had this bug.
a lot slower, trends stayed around longer, things were a lot more niche and didn't require constant gatekeeping to prevent
I love One Piece. I watched 2 episodes. I love it.
that they were involved or educated on said niche, all with the purpose of using it as a publicity stunt, but fortunately most times it backfires. And back then, things like memes stayed around a lot longer before they were overplayed and then eventually deemed cringe. Need I not remind you, we used to have 4 memes a year that would be used and last till the end of said year.
Yeah, holy.
But in the current day, we have a new meme or trend.
It's like every 2 weeks.
Every month, like a teenager saying some arbitrary integers with a hand motion, or more accurately nowadays, just AI slob, or if you're on Instagram Reels, it's someone just straight up dying or something that after watching will leave you stun-locked for a solid minute.
Oh, like, did you guys ever lose your, like, virginity?
I was like, is this Emiru?
Oh, like, did you guys ever
the same makeup.
Lose your, like, virginity? Like, is that a thing? I lost my virginity in Royal High, and I was a lesbian. I was also Elsa, if that made a difference.
But probably within the next week, that trend or meme is already considered old, and people are just now posting it ironically. It doesn't even sound right to use the word meme anymore when referring to this content. Even that sounds outdated. I would have thought we would have developed a new word for this type of content because we've developed new words for other things.
This guy
like,
just yaps.
What the fuck does low-carkingly mean, and why is it being used so much? However, with all of that said, yes, I know I'm old and just complaining, but on the topic of memes, there are some that, yes, may be old and overplayed, but are absolute classics. Like the Rick Roll, impact text on a random picture that was usually a minion for some reason. There's Yeet, these nuts, and so many more. And then there are some memes that have a story to them and inspire questions like, why is this person saying or doing this? What made them say or do this? And who are they? What is the context? A good example is with the low tier god meme.
Your life is nothing.
Meaningless.
You serve zero purpose. You
should
should kill yourself now.
The subject Dale has a lot of backstory to him, with most people focusing on the fact he supposedly is a deadbeat dad.
Hello. Pay child support.
Pay child
you told me to click on that fake ass bullshit. Alright, I'm done with it. I ain't clicking on that shit.
Or another meme that has a special place in my heart next to, of course, Billy Harrington, and it's very relatable to the subject of this video, the Ricardo meme, which was a popular meme in 2018 with a barely clothed, built, oiled man dancing, usually with Bass Hunter's daughter in the background.
It's actually a guy that acts like it's him, but it's not him, apparently.
Or the song You Got That, accompanied with multiple anime gals.
There's a guy that looks similar to him, but it's not him.
The story behind this was it was filmed years before it was a meme in 2007, and the subject Ricardo Milos' backstory was that he was just a Brazilian model paid to do an erotic dance for an explicit website, and when this meme blew up years later, Ricardo actually wasn't too happy about it, and revealed he was more focused on raising his son and urged people to stop sending him the viral clip and making memes of it. And I think he later started a YouTube channel or something, unless this is just people impersonating him. But that whole story is very similar to the story of the subject of today's video. And obviously with the subject of this meme and their line of work, viewer discretion is advised. We do go on to talk about both their history and their internet footprint, which is adult content to say the least, so just be aware. But the person and meme we're talking about today is Dreamybull, or
I look at him, he doesn't look real.
As he's more commonly known as, the I'm about to come guy.
Look at this shit! I bought this at a fucking yard sale.
He doesn't look real.
I'm just trying to watch The Mask by Jim Carrey. I get this fucking bullshit. What the fuck is that? I'm about to come.
He was huge in Indonesia, the
Now,
southeast,
normally you
or
wouldn't think
whatever.
a piece of content like a guy, for better words, tenderizing his meat in front of a camera, which is the context of the original video, would be such a widespread sensation to the point where multiple platforms have hours of videos dedicated to it, and it's even got to the point where he's developed a cult-like following. But then again, this
What?
is the
Where
internet
is
where
that?
anything is possible,
This is
and I
almost
guess
like my
cult-like
hometown. What?
following. But then again, this is the internet where anything is possible, and I guess this proves that the internet hasn't entirely been taken over by bots and AI just yet. And for
From
the
London
record,
Village.
it's not the first time a meme like this has got popular. Once again, rest in peace Billy Harrington. But this is Dreamybull, or Perel Brown, someone that online is most known for the voice lines they use in their adult content, and like I said, despite the nature of the original
Ambassade.
content, it became a meme format where they usually just insert him into a completely fabricated storyline, vastly different from what
I
is
like the... It's like he's a pilot and it's like, I don't know, his son Ambatukam is dying and like, oh my god,
happening in the original
Ambatukam.
video. And these memes started showing up in 2022 and peaked in 2023, and around that time Dreamybull was everywhere. It was impossible to avoid him, and despite being well past said peak, he is still very well known and still being posted on platforms to this day. You could say he left his own mark, or in this case his own stain on the internet, which was something that he originally absolutely hated. But who is Dreamybull and what is his backstory?
My name is not about to count.
Where did he come
That's not my
from?
name. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. If I see that in the comment section, I'm blocking you. Okay.
Perel Brown was born on February 18th, 1992, which means at the time of this video he's around his early to mid-30s. Dreamy is very private when it comes to his life, especially his earlier life. In fact, the name Perel isn't even the name he was born with. But what he has said about his earlier life is that he never knew his parents, he was adopted, and grew up in a heavily religious household where his adopted parents were pastors at a church.
You know, I was adopted. Y'all didn't know that.
That
did you?
fits.
Ding dong, ding dong. I was adopted at a young age, and my name wasn't Perel. It was a different name before then. Do I
Adopted
know
by
who my
priest.
actual biological parents are? No, I never met them. I don't know. And I grew up in a Christian home, in a Christian way. My grandfather is a bishop, is a pastor. My parents are ministers in the church.
Dreamy has also said that he grew up in a rough area and that earlier on he struggled a lot with things like his mental health. Though in his later years he would join his family working for the church, but it's assumed he lost that position due to his criminal past, where in his own words, because of hard times, he turned to stealing to pay for things like his rent, and he does admit he was a terrible thief due to the fact he would apparently always end up returning the things he stole. In one instance returning a phone he took, and in another stealing $205 from a place he was working at, which landed him in jail.
I went through a bad crisis growing up as a child. And
I'm about to steal.
Major
I'm stealing.
depression and identity tragedies. I couldn't find out who I was. And so I end up in crime, y'all. I made a lot of mistakes. You guys know the store backstory. I was a youth pastor and I stole a phone from the store. And I took that phone right back to the store because I felt bad and they sent me to jail. I was a dumb criminal because I would literally give everything back. Around that time, I stole some money from a restaurant that I was working at. And and so they sent me to prison because I stole $205.
I'm about to go to prison. I'm passing the prison bus.
Now it's unclear when he exactly started doing his adult content he's known for today or why he started doing it, primarily because, as said, he's somewhat private with his personal life, which isn't surprising considering he's married and has 2 kids, which also surprises a lot of people due to the content he makes. Many people do assume he's gay. It's also hard to pinpoint when he started doing this content if you were that curious to look into it, which I don't advise.
Isn't it the norm that you don't show your face when you do this?
Doing. But it's hard to track
He's
down when he
reacting
started
to
doing
it.
this because he's been banned on multiple platforms, even including the conventional adult ones, which is probably due to some of the extreme stuff he does on camera,
He's
or because
reacting.
since he became a meme, people have been impersonating him on a range of platforms, leading him to get banned. But from his own words, he started doing this type of content around 2020, at least on the platform the meme was taken from.
Dreamers.
This is the reason why I'm getting older now, and I've been in it for 5 years now.
Now, as said, the memes about him and his content started being made in 2022, which means someone organically found both him and his content and must have watched at least a good amount of it before they decided that this specific clip was funny enough to make into a meme.
Please show me like
Just thought I'd point that out.
compilation of
At this
this.
point, he had already been doing this type of content for at least 2 years on his current platform, and he probably would have never thought in his wildest dreams that his adult content would be turned into a meme, let alone posted all over
Possessed
the
by the
internet
demon.
for everyone to see. He even became the king and face of the Thug Shakers community for a while, which is something I'm not even going to bother explaining.
Rowan, do the thug shake.
The what shake?
Do the thug shake.
What's that?
The thug shake.
I don't know what that is.
And although the internet was enjoying the memes made with his content,
XQC.
he wasn't. In fact, he initially hated both the memes and the attention he was getting.
We're going to be discussing some things that are on my heart. No. And my name is not about to come. That is not my name. So
That's not my
I'm
face.
just going to go ahead and put that out there. If I see that in the comment section, I'm blocking you. You know, I'm sick of the rhetoric. I'm sick of the memes. The memes are
We're
what they
so
are,
blunt
but
with the
there's some
follow.
egregious things
Yo,
on
what's up?
on those memes. Y'all put kids in those memes. Y'all put politicians in those memes. And people who are innocent in the line of work that I do as far as
I'm about to
content
follow.
creating is.
I'm
That's
following.
not- and I do not tolerate it, okay?
He also understandably didn't like that the meme made about him was being used for things like Zoom bombing, which was where people would go into online classes or even court hearings and would play his video, much to the dismay of people within the
I'm
court.
bouncing.
And outside of the memes, he was also being constantly doxxed, swatted, and harassed.
A year ago, I was swatted over 10 times, I believe, about 10 times, 8 or 9 times. I was hacked.
I'm
I
hacking.
was doxxed. My social security number, my driver's license, my emails. It's the police at the door.
You got
Told y'all
busted.
that. Let's go downstairs. The police is at the door.
So yeah, he initially had a pretty good reason not to like the memes and the online attention. He even apparently had multiple people show up to his house, and in one instance a person attempted to camp outside it. I don't really understand why you would do that. Like, what were you expecting? Him to give you a reward for camping outside of his residence? When in reality, the only thing you're probably gonna get is 9mm. They also contacted the music label that signed him and told them about his online activity because, yes, if you didn't know, Dreamy is quite skilled when it comes to
Yeah,
things
no.
like playing the saxophone. In another instance, it was
I'm
even
about to
being
say-
circulated he was a sex offender, with the main piece of evidence being the image of a supposed news report of him being arrested, and a news article saying a man looking like Dreamybull had been arrested for
But this guy has a
public
tattoo,
indecency.
no?
There was even a petition created to get him arrested, made by a person going under the username Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo, suey.
Dreamy would later respond to all of this, saying it's fake, photoshopped, and he has even told his contacts at the FBI about it. And he only knew those contacts at the FBI due to all the fake
W
calls and
speed.
harassment he had been receiving around that time.
The Photoshop picture that is shown up everywhere is the offender picture. I told the FBI that this is something also I'm dealing with. Is people who are saying that I'm a sex offender, and there's no there's no proof of that whatsoever.
Now, the public indecency claim originates from some of the content he's produced. In some, he can be seen doing the activity, to say the least, in his car, outside where it's hard to see if he's on his own property or in a public area, which either way is pretty bad. You should be doing that activity in your own home regardless. But a specific video this claim comes from is the gym video, where Dreamy filmed a video in some part of a gym doing his usual content, and within said content, not only was it terrible that he was doing this once again in a public setting, but behind him the full logo of the gym was visible. Now, the criticism for doing this in a public setting is very much valid. Even if nobody witnessed it and he wasn't caught doing it, there is still no excuse for doing this in a public setting, but the doxing and everything afterwards I don't think was warranted. However, needless to say, Dreamybull wasn't put on the sex offender registry for this action, and he has later gone on to talk about why he did it, which admittedly still isn't a good excuse.
Why did I in the gyms? Because I was fucking horny. If you ever didn't, I was horny.
I needed to record
and I need to let it go, okay? At that particular time, I was super zealous in my content creating, and I just wanted to create content. And I thought, what will be the in
that
my
team
mind,
boss.
okay? I'm not talking about what is righteous. I'm talking about what was going on in my unrighteous mind. I wanted to just create a video that I think that was going to make me a lot of money. And so I thought the gym, was it a bad idea? Yeah, because I shouldn't have done it. And if I should have done it, I shouldn't have actually I shouldn't have displayed. I was a dumb fool for doing the video knowing that the gym's logo was behind me. That's number one. I shouldn't have done that. But does that make it right? No. But it's out there, and I did it.
It's out there.
I'm not coming back from it.
There was also the claim floating around at the time that
He already
Dreamy was a scammer, which came down to an incident where somebody requested an interview with Dreamybull and paid him $150, but Dreamy, after accepting the money, supposedly backed out of the agreement and also reported the person to the FBI. But Dreamybull did address this claim, saying there was more to said deal than what he initially agreed to, so he backed out but
Plus
kept some money.
150.
In reality, he probably should have refunded the money, but once again, from what I can see, the terms information for the transaction was never made public.
Yes, I've done crimes, and I want to address this $150 that you guys are talking about. Well, there was more to that agreement than
got
that
half
one
of his
person
thing.
ever put on, and so because of that, the interview did not go through, and he did not get a refund. And I'm gonna leave it at that because there is a group of people out there who think otherwise, and you guys can say whatever you want to say.
Now, with all of that said, eventually Dreamybull would lean into the meme. It was around the time he created
Of
and
course.
regularly started uploading to the
Because
official
he realized that he can make money out of it.
Dreamybull YouTube channel. And alongside uploading videos like his aforementioned saxophone skills, gym videos, and even gaming videos, he would also start live streaming there
DF2 with Dreamybull.
Pretty often, where he had fully
Oh my
embraced his
god,
meme status.
I'm a pyro.
Oh, this is perfect. Listen, the music. Okay, pause it. Let's pause. Can I pause this? Steven, bro.
Steven.
It's the music for me. What makes this completely hilarious. Am I mad? Hell no. There's some memes I'm not mad about. I don't care if you guys make fun of me. I think I'm about to come. It's funny.
However, also around the time when he was playing into it and embracing the meme, the harassment still didn't stop. He was still being swatted, doxxed, and in one case had his computer, cameo, and merch website hacked.
I streamed for 8 months, or 6 months, 8 months, and during that entire time, I was swatted more than 8 or 9 times. I was doxxed. My identity was stolen. Someone, right now, I'm in cahoots with the credit bureau because someone opened up line of credits in my name by using all the information. They hacked into my computer, and I just found this out maybe a year ago. They hacked into my...
They got his password.
IP address into my computer. Like, I went back to restore my computer and said, this PC belongs to
It was Oral
Jury
Cum
or
Shot
something
123.
Dreamy did pick up a large audience on YouTube pretty fast, eventually reaching over 200,000 subscribers, with a lot of his fans coming from Indonesia for some reason.
See, I said it.
Like, Indonesian people really liked him for
I don't know why.
whatever reason. Dreamy even got
Ambatu food.
so popular on his new platform he got whatever reason.
Amba food.
Dreamy even got so popular on his new platform he got into a call with iShow Speed at one point.
Like, how did it feel when your meat first got leaked?
Then, my God, now that's a good question. So
He would use this platform not only to share
It has
his
to be an old
hobbies,
video.
but also speak about his experience
Like
and
2
advise
years
people
ago.
not to get in the adult industry, especially if they are young.
I'm going to say something to individuals who are graduating high school. Yes, you are an adult at 18 and 20, but I do not advise you to go in that industry. I'm going to tell you why, because number one, you're young. The average brain stops developing at the age of 25. In other words, if you are in your 20s and you're younger than the age of 25, you don't know the hell you want to do with your life.
A lot of people liked this side of Dreamybull and liked his more safe for work content, but obviously people would constantly refer to his other content and the meme whenever they could, even if he was doing the most mundane activity and he went along with it.
no, I'm not doing that shit. Y'all crazy as hell. I just want to show y'all my catfish. It's not a big one.
Things were going so well, in fact, he considered quitting adult content to become a streamer.
I will probably eventually stream permanently. What I mean by that, I may not be a porn star anymore. If you guys continue to stay with me, you guys continue to support me, I'm going to full-time be a streamer.
However, even though he would take a break from doing adult content, he would eventually return to doing it, primarily because he was being harassed more since he started streaming and uploading to YouTube, with a more recent case where a bomb threat was called in when he was streaming on his birthday, even though he was renting a new location to stream and it required the whole office building to be evacuated.
You don't know the backstory. Why I said I wasn't going to retire and why I went back. Because people in didn't treat me like this. I didn't have this issue until I started streaming on YouTube.
Now, Dreamy would eventually go in.
I mean, because that they just came, watched, and came again and left.
On his YouTube channel, with his last activity being a stream from 9 months ago. He is still somewhat active on platforms like Instagram, playing his saxophone and hinting something big is coming soon, but he's more active on his adult platforms more than anything else right now.
Do you guys ever kind of want to know what it feels like to get nutted in?
What?
Damn, it was kind of cold today, huh?
Something.
So in conclusion, that is
something big is coming.
the story so far of the person behind the meme, Dreamybull, aka I'm About to Come. Obviously, looking at Dreamy's track record, he has made some mistakes, especially when it comes to things like doing his adult content in public. But he has been pretty vocal about how he was in the wrong for those things.
And stealing from his work, stealing a phone, getting arrested.
And attempted to move on from them, even though he knows it's not that easy. And yeah, the people criticizing him for that event aren't in the wrong. But when he's trying to turn a new leaf of his more safe for work content and people take it as far as to dox, swat, and just overall harass him, which goes well past the point of criticizing him for the things he's done and is in no way deserved. And ultimately, it probably aided in his decision to go back to adult content over things like YouTube and streaming, which probably disappointed a lot of people.
Because there you just record a 10-minute video and upload
enjoyed that
That's
content
all.
he produced. Right now, even if he's not as active, Dreamy is still immortalized on the internet, and the I'm About to Come meme is still in circulation to this day, although obviously it's slowed down a bit since its peak, and it's mainly shared by those from Indonesia. I still don't understand the correlation between Indonesia and this type of content. It is what it is, I guess, but the internet is still yet to forget about the man known as Dreamy, or the About to Come guy. That's just something I wanted to talk about today.
I'm about to come. My name is not I'm about to come. That is not my name. I'm about to come. Oh my god. 1 month ago. Best jazz ever heard. I'm about to jazz. I'm about to jazz. I'm about to blow.